Welcome to this video of a month of mindfulness, a series of monotangles taught to increase your awareness of here and now with your pen, following the Zentangle method. Today I want to do a little tangle called Chemystery. It's by Marianne Schloban Dawson, and this little tangle is one of those tangles which after you've drawn it hides the clever system in which how it was drawn. So today I have my pen, I have my pencil and my tortillon, and I have my hexagon tile. If you're working within the pages of a journal or perhaps on a different shaped tile, that's absolutely fine. Draw the section that you want to build within and we'll draw this little tangle. I'll grab my pen first of all, and I want to draw a grid pattern that goes across. So I'm just going to draw a line that goes, in my case, from one of my angles across and to the other angle and across. I might try and squeeze another one in down here. Don't make these too narrow, they're fine with a little bit of space between them. And what I'm looking for is some grids, crosses that never cross. So we're going to work within these spaces, just here, these joins where they cross over. And so once we've got this lattice, we're going to add a C-curve. And so what I'm talking about a C-curve is I'm just going to draw a C that goes around over two of them and just joins up on either side of these two lattices. I hope you can see my C very obviously. And I'm going to do the same thing to all four of those lattice junctions, just drawing a C. Mine's quite an orby one. If yours is a slightly different shape, that's fine. And I'm going to do that on all four areas. Then the next repetitive stroke is to do the same curve as if this orb was finishing just in this last quarter. So I'm almost going to complete my orbs apart from these two little sections here in the lattice. Once I've done that, this is where I find it easier to rotate my tile into a horizontal position. And I'm going to add a C-curve in the other direction. This way I'm going to add a little C-curve there. And I'm going to do that to all of my spots on the horizontal. Then I find it easier to rotate my tile and do that same C-curve on the other junctions. And finally, my last little C-curve is going to go back just into this little section here. I'm just going to draw a little C-curve, a little moon, almost like a little crescent shot. If I just pop a little bit of more drama around the outside edge here, you can see the sort of shape that I've got. So I'll just use the curve that's already there, and then perhaps just go in a little bit. And I'm going to fill that in all those areas, almost like a little white wedge. And then we want to fill these shapes now with drama. So that just means taking your pen, don't pressing too hard, and just gently fill the shape. And what the drama does is hide all those guidelines that you drew to produce this little tangle in the first place. And as you begin to see, as I fill in my first one, how it hides how we drew our spot on the junction. As I turn it round, I think it's this way up, you can see here that we've got our little orb that's covering over and joining the junctions. Once you've done it to your first element, depending on how many you have on your tile or within your section, you can start to do it to all the others. Be careful as you go around your little wedge shape, leaving a little white wedge shape that works as a highlight in this black orb that's on the lattice pipework. Don't go speedy with your fill, just take your time, ensure you've covered all the spots. Some people like to start at the wedge and just go around that first, just to double check that they leave that, and then once they've got their wedge in, you feel a little calmer about filling the rest of the space. We'll go round and gently fill round, using those C curves in both directions to guide us where the black ink has to go. It's a lovely way, as I said, I've mentioned at the start, of doing a tangle that when you've finished, you're not quite sure what the process was to drawing it, because we've used the drama to cover up our guidelines as we went, but broken down into a very simple steps. It's a very simple little tangle, repetitive as well. And so once I've got my little orbs over all my lattice junctions, and with my pencil I'm just going to pop a little bit of shading just where my little chemistry or black drama orbs just disappear into where the pipes disappear into the orb. Wrong way around there. Use my tortillon just to gently pull the graphite out just a little bit. So a very simple tangle chemistry, which just has that lovely mystery of how it was drawn. Perhaps you have a chemist in your house, maybe not a traditional chemist, maybe they're a good baker, maybe they mix those edible chemicals into beautiful sustenance for you and your family. Or perhaps maybe your chemist is good at mixing musical notes. Perhaps they design some music, adding those notes, chemistries, to do some beautiful sounds. So when it's time to appreciate, we'll just work out where you want to add your chop. I think I might hang it underneath this pipe work here. Cool. And then it's time to appreciate the different mysteries of each little element in our life that makes up our days. We appreciate them and we work with them. Perhaps they're not always as you expected, but just accept and allow them to be. Perhaps you've added a little shading down the pipes. Perhaps you've added a little shading around the edge of your section as well. But appreciate the mixing of your elements today in your chemistry.